What's up, everyone, and welcome back to our Clone Wars Chronological Rewatch. Today we're talking about Slaves of the Republic, the second episode of the Zygerria arc. To give a quick summary, this is the episode where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka go undercover on Zygerria. Anakin is posing as a slaver, and eventually they're caught, they're all captured, and they become slaves. And that fits very well with the message of this one, which is those that enslave others eventually... Those who enslave others inevitably become slaves themselves. Do you remember this episode?
I do, mostly because Anakin and the head lady, slaver, what's her name?
The queen. I think it's just the queen.
The queen lady. They just do a lot of talking.
A lot of talking, a lot of flirting.
Yeah.
A lot of uncomfortable flirting.
She is like awfully flirty with Anakin, and that was just like really odd to see. But it's interesting to see how they kind of played off of each other. Anakin is showing a lot of restraint in this arc, having to pretend to be a slave and to see the other slaves.
Or pretending to be a slaver.
Yeah. Sorry. And to basically see the other slaves being treated, you know, the way that they are. But then the queen does a lot of questioning to Anakin as far as his other commitments. Yeah, his commitments and what it all means.
Well, I wanted to stop where, so the moral of this story is that if you enslave others, inevitably you become a slave too. And even Anakin, who is pretending to enslave Ahsoka, has to dial it back and pretend to not be himself, and he stops a slave from killing the queen, and then that slave kills herself, which, I mean, this whole episode is really dark and messed up, by the way.
I mean, all the episodes that are very slave heavy are.
Well, it's just there's a lot of innocence suffering, which I'm sure is the point of just to show how terrible all of this is. But the season 4 is definitely where you can feel it growing up with the kid audience that started in season 1, and you're like, okay, we're teenagers now and you can handle this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, him having to dial it back and not be himself and literally watch people die and do nothing is a form of slavery, I would say, where he's still under the queen's control to a degree. Mm-hmm. Even if it's all pretend. But at the end, after he's caught and Ahsoka's caught and Obi-Wan is sent off, she does question his commitments and says that he is a slave of the Republic. You do the Leo point thing, because that's the title of the episode.
I mean, and yeah, you could definitely argue that he's a slave to the Republic. He is kind of a slave to Palpatine and to Padme, and to basically everything revolving around Padme and her fate. He is willing to go as far as he goes.
That's the question she brings up. She's he says that commitment isn't slavery, and she says it is if you lose yourself in the commitment.
Right.
Which Anakin does. I agree with him that it's no, you can be committed to something without letting yourself be a slave to it. But when you go so far as to be I'm so committed to my wife that I will kill children to save her, you've gone too far. You're a slave to that commitment. Yes.
And you're blinded by what you think is doing the right thing. Palpatine is just I can teach you how to save Padme. No proof.
Right.
No nothing. And then after he kills Mace and officially becomes Darth Vader, Palpatine's basically we'll figure it out together. And yeah. I feel at that point, if I were Anakin, I'd be hold on a second.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen plenty of times that Anakin is just a slave to his attachments. Mm-hmm. But that's it for this week's episode, and next time we're going to talk about Escape from Kadavo. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch.
And as always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.